All right, first graders. So today we're going to read chapter 2 of Frog and Toad Together. It's called A Garden. Let's read and find out. The garden. Wonder what this chapter will be about. Oh, excuse me. Frog was in his garden. Toad came walking by. What a fine garden you have, Frog, he said. Yes, said Frog. It is very nice, but it was hard work. I wish I had a garden, said Toad. Here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground, said Frog, and soon you will have a garden. How soon? Asked Toad. Quite soon, said Frog. Toad ran home. He planted the flower seeds. Now seeds, said Toad. Start growing. Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, Now seeds, start growing. Toad looked at the ground again. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, Now seeds, start growing. Toad came running up the path. What is all this noise? He asked. My seeds will not grow, said Toad. You are shouting too much, said Frog. These poor seeds are afraid to grow. My seeds are afraid to grow? Asked Toad. Of course, said Frog. Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them, and soon your seeds will start to grow. Pause. Do you think that the seeds are really afraid to grow? Is that how plants and seeds work? No, that's not how it works, is it? Let's keep reading and see what happens next. That night, Toad looked out of his window. Drat, said Toad. My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark. Toad went out to his garden with some candles. I will read the seeds a story, said Toad. Then they will not be afraid. Toad reads a long story to his seeds. The next day, Toad sang the songs to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Toad looked at the ground, but the seeds did not start to grow. What shall I do? Cried Toad. These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world. Toad felt very tired, and he fell asleep. Toad, Toad, wake up, said Frog. Look at your garden. Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming up out of the ground. At last, shouted Toad. My seeds have stopped being afraid to grow. And now you will have a nice garden too, said Frog. Yes, said Toad. But you were right, Frog. It was very hard work. Wow. So 107, and 108, we are a little bit of experts on how plants grow. Remember when we were growing plants in our garden? Remember when you were growing a lawn with Mr. Ben? After this video, in your writing assignment, I'm going to post a link to another book that we've listened to before in the listening center about how plants grow. I want you to watch that video and then write. Your writing assignment today is going to be to write explaining to Toad how plants grow. How does it work? Did he need to read to them and sing to them and play music for them? It was nice. They probably liked it because they're living things too. But that's not how seeds grow. Watch the next video to remind yourself about all the details of how seeds grow, and then write in your writing assignment explaining to Toad, Dear Toad, this is how seeds grow. First, next, then, and last. Let's help Toad understand something new. See you tomorrow.